And this is a Mexican-inspired recipe to go with Rubaiyat. It's a vegetable soup or stew. It's very colorful.
Lovely.
Yeah,
the aromas are incredible.
The vegetable stew, and then you get sort of like this salad sitting on top of it. So very refreshing.
Beautiful presentation.
I made the mistake of saying it was like a vegetarian pozole in front of two ladies that I work with in the kitchen that are from Mexico, and I was quickly corrected. Brenda just looked at me like, "What?" There is no such thing. They should feel sort of soft and supple like that. All of these have some heat to it. The guajillos aren't really like smoking hot. They've got sort of a red fruit-like quality to them. They do have a sort of a brightness to them. The pasillas maybe have a little bit more darker, complex flavor to them. Using different chilies is almost like our winemaker has different components to make it more complex. I'm going to heat up a skillet, and I'm just going to toast them lightly. Again, it'll give them a little bit more flavor. A lot of Mexican cuisine, they'll char things, and a dry skillet like this will actually be no oil. It's not tossed like sauteing, but it's just giving a little bit more flavor, and there's no added fat either. So it's actually a pretty healthy cuisine. And salsas can have a lot of flavor to them without relying upon fat. I'm just going to press them against the skillet just a little bit to make them crackle a little bit, not so much to color them. If you do burn them, they'll actually make the chilies bitter. But the onions are starting to char a little bit, and it's sort of bringing the sugars out, giving it a little bit of flavor. The garlic is still going to be raw when we're finished with it, but you are getting a little bit of the almost roasted-like quality, like the beginning phases of doing roasted garlic. You can see that this is blackened a little bit, which probably in most applications you would consider that burnt, but that's actually what we're shooting for. I'm just going to pour hot water over these, let them soak for 20 minutes until they're nice and soft. Put your onions in the blender jar, your garlic when it's cool enough to peel. Our chilies now are sufficiently soft at this point, so you squeeze most of the liquid out of them. It's not important that get rid of all of it. We're going to throw a little bit of tomato in. If it's the middle of summer and you've got nice vine-ripe tomatoes, by all means use those. The rest of the year, good quality canned peeled tomatoes are probably your best bet. I'm going to simmer this all together in the chili broth for about 15 minutes. While the hominy is cooking in the chili broth, we can prep all the vegetables in chayote, which is a type of squash. Not as common, I think, for a lot of us. I know some parts of the United States, like in the South, they use it a little bit more often. It's got a nice firm texture to it, and it goes well in a soup like this. There is a seed cavity in the center here. It's not a very hard seed, and so you can trim that out. Put this all at the table and people could garnish their soup to their own liking, or if you want, you can portion up everybody's soup and put the salad on top for them. We'll taste it for seasoning and give it a good dose of lime.
Thank you. This looks wonderful. I like the opposing flavors, the sweetness of the vegetables and the peppers, and also the spiciness also goes well with the Rubaiyat. Rubaiyat's a very creative blend, just like I think this is so creative, but it changes from vintage to vintage depending on what is available and what the vintage brings to us. I look at it as a lighter red wine. Mainly it's Pinot Noir based, but then I also add a little bit of Syrah and Zinfandel. Syrah to give it a little bit of tannic structure, and Zinfandel a little bit more spice and depth.
I know we don't make that much of it, and we just sell it at the winery. We've got this following of people that just really love this wine, and people that maybe don't necessarily drink a lot of red wine, or maybe new to drinking red wine. You can chill it a little bit.
Exactly.
Goes with a wide range of foods, and it's just sort of like the dish. Casual, meant to be enjoyed, and fun, and not taken too seriously. not in my town. That's the other one we have fun with in the kitchen, because Brenda and Virginia are both from Michoacan, and they have very differing opinions on dishes, and so sort of talk about how you make it and be like, no, not in my town.